In 13 seconds the thing will start, so I'm just gonna load into it. CS the FNCS finals or whatever. So, just watching this video. Oh, stretch. Just woke up. Alright guys, so we're in the match. Let's see. Just gonna change my skin real quick. Wait, where's it gonna be at? Hold up. It's gonna be right over there. I bet we can make it in time. Anyway. Just make it really quick. I'm running. Oop, wrong way. Now I'm running. What the? Oh, not really much people care about this thing. Damn. Yeah, not really that much people even in here. Is that a laser beam? I think I hear a laser beam.
With what he can do with it, that specific burst AR is so good here from him. But it looks like he's not going to need it now. He's going to get some tags going.
Hey Mongrel, what's up, bro?
They're going to have to back out. Mongrel, though, not going to let him do it. He's got to be careful. He is running out of AR ammo, but he says, you know what? Who needs an AR? I got a shotgun and a crash pad. I'm going into the box. He is going to miss the jump a little bit, almost deploying a crash pad there, but the continued pressure that he's keeping up is trying to keep this player from going any higher. And it's Smudge just trying to get away. He's got a little sliver of HP, but Mongrel going to get in the box and do that Mongrel classic and get the elimination.
And like he had to resolve that fight right away, because even picking that up with the additional match drop now only has 52 materials, and while he is in the zone,
I heard laser beam.
That south side, he's going to need to find it, and with so many other
players Mongrel's in phase, I didn't know that.
It's going to be really hard to max out quickly, but now let's hop on board with our match number 1 winner.
I think I just forgot.
The format in the right-hand side, each elimination being worth a point. You can see once you get into that top 10, you'll have 8 placement points going through, all the way up to 14 for first. Then you can see 11 through 15th is 7, 16 through 20th is 6. It's the intervals of 5, then the intervals of 10.
You
and of
fell?
course, you get that first placement point after the first 25 players have gone down. So still plenty of players who need to drop here, which generally is a little slower from EU. You'll typically see a little more aggression going on. However, as you get further and further on into tournaments, the stakes and the players become that much more difficult to fight against, and it's really hard to confidently take an early fight, as we have Rax and the Costa Rican Sebi in a battle over here.
Ooh, and Rax on the back foot already. Now, this is that weather station just above Caddy. Sebi going in. The shots are going to go through. He's going to get the initial damage, and he's going to follow up with the AR. The crouch spam, and it's going to pay off for him. The elimination comes through, but now the question posed for Sebi is, can he go get Kit's loot? Can he go get the shockwave launcher and that charged shotgun, or will he settle for some of the vault loot?
And generally,
See, where
that's
is
the goal. It's to
it?
go
Where's that one
through,
in
get
my
whatever you
days?
can from the weather station, resolve a fight there, and then head down and hopefully pick up the remnants of whatever happened at Caddy Corner. But now we're going to swing on over to Authority, where we have Letwick. We're in match number 1. He was able to steal away that mythic glider grapple gun and just kind of rotate out. But now, match number 2, you can see Hardfind over on the side, and Hardfind looking to set up a trap and a bait. We've seen this before a number of times, particularly around that vault area, where there are some areas you can't build. Players look to have just immediate drop, but Letwick is set up really well in terms of his close quarters combat. Just having that epic SMG as well as the tactical shotgun and a legendary pistol means he has 3 really high rate of fire weapons that give him plenty of abilities to just spam and pressure Hardfind, who's going to be looking for an ambush here in a second. But right now, both players just farming up.
And it seems like they're respecting each other's areas of this Authority. They kind of know, hey, he's going to be over here. I can tell by how he's looted. I know
Okay, so
Letwick's
that's
going to
what-
be in this
what it
side
looks
because I know how he
like. That's
looted
pretty
from
cool.
Hardfind's perspective. But what concerning about this is the players that are around. Carrot is there as well. You got 2 other players on the side. But Letwick is playing this very well. He's hitting some things, and then he's standing still. Because that's how the henchmen act. They walk around. Sometimes they'll hit stuff that's in their way, and then they'll stand still as you see one moving there. On the other side, we've got Wolfies, who's in a fight against some Marauders. Hopefully he's able to get out of those. The Marauders are very, very potent. They shoot you, they throw stakes at you, and they just will try to eliminate you at all costs. And they've got very, very good aim, especially with that hunting rifle there in the inventory of the Deadeye Marauder. Wolfies is pretty low, but he's got Ardent pretty low as well, 150 HP. Now the Marauders are coming in here. The third party this fight. Sometimes the third party does not always have to be an actual player. It can be the AI. This is really good for Wolfies. He's allowing the Marauders to go after this player and go after him for him and get the initial damage. But if he goes in, he's got to be careful. He can't look to go in right away with all these Marauders around. If he doesn't do any damage to him, they're going to be very
Listen,
build
because
through
he's
and walk
grappling,
through as you see
but
the bolts are
that's
going to get broken.
enough.
This is bad for Wolfies. He needs to get rid of the Marauders. The shots are coming in. He's only got 2 builds remaining. Launchpad placed. He can't build anymore. Got a player right there in front of him. Sniper shot going to come out, and it does. But he goes down to a Marauder.
Vato getting picked off there, but the Marauders catching Wolfies out. No builds, no natural cover nearby. Ardent soaking most of the aggression. Him opting to go down. Ardent will clean up all of that.
That's sad, bro.
Good heads-up plays by Wolfies to pick up the snipe, but the Marauders ultimately enacting their revenge there. And it can be so difficult when you get caught out by them, particularly in the open. The builds that will target those and will try and take them out. You're definitely able to kind of ditch them and get rid of aggro when you're around some of the more natural cover on the map, those houses, the bridges and stuff that are nearby. But Vato not going to be happy about that. Was trying to get a little bit of a third-party tag there, and Wolfie's punishing him right before he goes down and says, hey, if I'm going down, you're coming down with me. And will also deny a key elimination point that could have gone over to Ardent. So ultimately, he's going to be upset his game is over, but at least he was able to pick up a little bit. He's now back on board here with Flois, and as we can see, he's used to fast starts, placing first with 5 elims in game 1 of
I can't hear nothing.
as well. So let's see if he can turn this confidence into something more, as he is over.
No,
in the
default, get
side
in
of
my
the
way.
with plenty of players around him. However, he has priority on the rotation, but not a ton of material.
Stop, default.
He's going to be
Oh
forced
my
to burn
goodness.
those metal and the brick here. We refer to those as the hard materials, because once they get built up, they provide that much more defense for you. However, just they're so much harder to get naturally as you move
Stop,
through the map.
no.
Flow is finding Cammy there, and you can see immediately he's going to head over there because he's like, hey, I need those mats. I need those refreshers. When we talk about refresher in the term, this is it, because that's going to be refresher for him.
Finals.
What a
Default.
shot and a heads-up play by Flois. He desperately needed that, as well as his ammo was pretty low, too. Only 74 AR. That's not enough going into an in-game competitive Fortnite game.
Bro,
You
they
definitely
better
want to
stop
have a little bit
bugging
more
me.
like Noah Riley here.
So
Again,
annoying, bro.
takes off Mr. Savage and now has the loot to show for it. The yacht coming in clutch with this loot. He's got
You
this
know
player
what,
down,
dude?
though, with those tags. But the big shield going to be popped there. Now Noah has to be careful. He wants to go aggressive. His instinct is to push in with that crash pad and get the aggressive play. But that player back up to full HP. He's got to be careful. Shots go through the edit. Not going to connect on the shots there. Noah over the top. Shots come through. A 71 tag there for Noah. And now he's going in. Crash pad in. It doesn't matter, though. The crash pad is actually going to send him away. He's got to keep the pressure up to keep this player from popping any shields. And he's got the player Back and forth, up and down, up and down. He's got the crash pad. He's going in. Shots are going to come through. The player puts the stare over the top of his head. And another good tag there. But Noah's not able to find him. Noah's not able to finish him off. This player continuously layer changing, going up and down in between the builds. And Hydro was just trying to run for their life.
Hydro trying to put as much distance as possible, and
still
unfortunately going to go down.
Whoever died, but know what I said, bro.
How important it is to
Last thing
resolve
the noise,
fights,
but I'm just
particularly
like,
because you don't want that opponent burning those resources.
GG.
Because when you do take them down, they'll drop them there, and you want to get as much as possible. You can see Noah picking up all of the minis there. He's back up to 6. Good job. So has 4 crash pads. And one thing you'll note in particular when you're looking at these mid-game fights, and what you should be keeping an eye on. Anytime a player has crash pads, that will enable them to push into boxes. You've seen it in 2 different ways, both from the top down, where they throw it against one of those cones because it lets them fall in, and then a perfect example. Thank you, Ross Orange, for showing it right there, winning the fight against Hardfind very closely with 6 HP. That's the horizontal crash pad, where you line yourself up on the corner of the walls, you throw it against that corner, and it'll end up landing right behind you, and it pushes you forward into the box, but it won't affect the other player. So it allows you to line up your shot ahead of time, and most times it'll also put you behind them, so they're not able to play defensively, as Orange trying to play defensively here, but Bafo just comes in and says, hey, you didn't have enough time to reset and get your shields up. I will take all that loot. Thank you very much.
And that's the dangers of taking a mid-game fight, is that if you take any damage, you're going to get third party. Players are going to recognize that shield crack sound, and they're going to move in. But on the other hand, look at Letwick. He took that fight, got out, and now is on the move. But Carrot is setting up an ambush for the shots coming through. Letwick has been cracked. Look at the box separation that he just did there.
Did Booga come in here yet, or
I am trying to possibly, he's the stair with the top is not his.
I'm just wondering if he did.
Layer change coming out and above, but he doesn't have enough time to pop the big shield. He's just looking to try to pop another mini, and he does get it off. And now he's looking for a shot. He needs to put the pressure back onto Carrot, because if not, then he's just going to keep running around, and Carrot's finally going to be able to get a shot on him. And Carrot decides, you know what? Not worth my time, not worth my materials, not worth my HP. I'm going to disengage.
I'm 50-50 on that. It felt like if Carrot had kind of kept pressing, he might have been able to pick up Letwick, particularly because, look at Letwick, there are only 20 total builds coming out, but that also means if you are able to take him down, you're not going to necessarily get that much back. You'd only get the 35 total, and it's really not going to be that beneficial unless you're able to rotate cleanly off of it. Both have the crash pads, but now you can see a fight going on here between Diablo and NXS Z-Andy. Zandy on the back foot here in Diablo.
Isn't Mongrel still alive, right?
Had the capability of playing aggressively. He is above that Storm Surge threshold, so
he's
trying to hunt this player. He's doing a good job of keeping Zandy on the back foot. Does get the cone replaced. Owns both. Edits back under. Zandy able to replace that stay there. So Diablo just gonna
I never shoot
make sure he's still
builds. I just like
near that 100 threshold, and then Zandy go down. So good job making sure you pick that one up. Zandy was below that Storm Surge threshold. Diablo will see that coming through the Storm Surge.
Wait,
will
isn't
pick that
Fresh
over.
in here?
So that's what we talk about right now. You can see on the right-hand side, Diablo is currently 130 damage above. Zandy was below, which means he takes that 25 damage every 10 seconds. And it also signals to Diablo, hey, I can just tag this guy up and then wait, because any damage he does for, to that player, as long as they go down within a minute, he will still get credit for that elimination. He will still get the point, then he can go over and safely pick up that loot.
The reason why they're not at that place, you know, the people they're talking it is because of the corona. So like the people that are fighting are like in their house, just like
sometimes they forget about it because they're pumping, they're rolling, they got their mats, they got their ammo, they got their builds, they're in zone, and then they're like, wait, I didn't tag anybody this game. I gotta look for a tag. Frenzy Fishy on the other side, above, and a good amount above. If you're about 100 to 150 above, you're looking at a good spot.
I thought there's someone under him.
And find swaps with one AR shot. That is what you needed. We saw Thomas H. do that in the first game. Just find any sort of elimination that you can, far away or up close. Don't even have to risk yourself getting tagged up for it.
Tired.
Yeah, but you notice how he's doing that behind a cone and editing a single wall. That's to avoid all of those hunting rifle headshots that we've seen come out time and time again. You don't want to get a game ender looking for some of those tags to make sure
Why
you're safe.
But
that being said, when we talk about tags and going through, that's generally meaning you're looking for long-range shots, not with the intention of actually trying to eliminate the opponent, but just doing some damage so you're not threatened by the Storm Surge, as Flois ends Froggy and puts a prime example of why you need a cone in a window and to limit the number of angles you have, because so many of these top-level players will be carrying those weapons, particularly in EU, that is known for their snipes and hitting their shots. Well done from the game number.
Bro, that's pretty annoying because he's like doing that ping on the screen and I can't really see.
Over the side as we're transitioning now into that mid-game kind of territory as players are starting to get closer and looking for priority in terms of zone number 4.
What kind of skin is that?
What an elimination! He only had 2 hunting rifle shots. That first shot needed to hit. He didn't really have a chance to follow up.
Aren't they gonna get that pickaxe that was from a leak and that one spray can emote?
Taking down the second place.
Like a spray can.
Hey, that's pretty good for your mentality. Even if he goes down here and be like, hey, I took out my competition, so I know I'm pretty secure there. But we're still pretty early on into the game, so we can't really do much.
And it's important to note when they stress during the top of show how every single interaction matters. Right there,
then there's a lot of people close too.
Right now. The player who is
everyone is close.
Able to pressure up. That means if he's able to build up a lead now, it's going to be that much more.
I don't know if people on teams or if it's just FFA.
One of the players who threatened him the most. As now we're on board here with ADN. We saw him have an amazing run yesterday, pushing in. Right there, you can see the Dorito at it being taken down.
Dorito.
Such a good push. Fastroke was looking to set up a crash pad there with that edited cone in his box, but ADN dropped in and then occupied the space, stuck to the AR, and then just used the weapon to close it out. Well done getting a key pick there in a mid-circle.
Man, these guys really keep up with what these people are doing.
Not looking good. Still are not looking good as well, so he's going to have to find another impact elimination along the way as we're on board with Ardent. Stats are not looking good. Now, there is a player's loot there in front of him that he more likely got the E-Flip from. He's not actually prioritizing picking it up right now. It seems like he's just looking to build and then go for the loot. Mr. X is nearby. Benji's nearby as well. We've got Scram in this game here as well. Handy, passive, slick. A lot of players still alive. 61. We talk about Storm Surges. This is a threshold where it's 50. 11 players need to go down. Darda makes a heads-up play to get a box, and Crash Pad's going to come through, but that's bad for him. Unless he hits the shots come through, and he does. Maestro going to go down.
How does he hit this? He wasn't even aiming. I hate that glitch when I see it, bro.
Yeah, and you can see the reason why so many players are fighting right now, both that Storm Surge and trying to get priority. We talk about 4th zone. Look in the bottom right-hand corner. Everyone is looking to box up and stake their claim
probably
on as much
like
real
doing
estate
something like getting a drink,
for when
maybe.
that half-in, half-out reveals. You don't want to be sharing a spot next to somebody as you go to rotate, and they're looking to clear out the players nearby. As Ardent picks up Flois there, so 1 and 2 are down.
Wait,
that's
he
going
was
to open up the leaderboard. Tons of players will have an opportunity to charge up. Eyes are now on Hen, and whether or not he can kind of extend his lead out there. As Ardent also picks up Lechi. Mongrel getting scout there in a brilliant job because he's now cleared out all the players on this part in that next half in, half out. The one before moving is pulling directly over to this cluster of players. So Tayson, Benji, Helix, Wisit, Mr. X will all be over there sharing the half in, half out with Ardent. They all have priority on everyone else who's rotating into the zone. So they're going to be fighting among themselves to make sure they're safe and not going to get ambushed, and then swap over to what Tayson's doing now and looking to catch the players, burning their rotation, burning launch pads and crash pads, trying to get into this zone.
And this is very lucky for Tayson because, again, express the amount of builds in the inventory. He only had 54. That is not where you want to be.
I'll probably be doing the sky base right
find an elimination to get to these moving zones effectively. He does have the 6 crash pads. But when you start to use those crash pads, you start wasting those builds as you box up. And he needs to find somebody. As shots come through, he's not going to be able to beam people out of the air just yet. As we do see Nebby unfortunately falling, but he did get that top 15 placement threshold, which is what a lot of people are playing that consistency. Hey, at least I went down inside of that. Tayson, however, is looking to get aggressive, and I believe that's on, I think this is Benji. I'm 97% sure Benji is right nearby. If Benji makes the wrong edit, he goes into a box that's not his. Tayson is going to go aggressive. The big shield is going to be popped. Edit's going to come through. No crash pad in. Shots coming through. And Benji's going to go down. Tayson going to take him down.
You called it. He was looking for it, waiting for Benji. He heard him trying to set up and get some space, knew he was pressured around the side. The horizontal crash pad entrance puts him behind Benji, cleans it up with the tactical shotgun, and well done. And Hen, the third place player on the leaderboard before the last game, going on the high ground right now, has priority position with Enos and Mongrel just below.
Oh my gosh, no,
on the
that
same
default,
ground. But we're going to hop on over to the Become
No.
Legends player. He's been playing so well
Stop,
recently,
no.
cleaning up the Cash Cup on his birthday. Had a phenomenal performance yesterday to also guarantee him spot here, and he has priority on this next zone. What that means is the
Guys,
closest to where
no.
the safe zone has to go past. So as it funnels and everyone else
Guys,
rotates,
no.
they have to go past Hen. You do not get to past Hen, and you notice he's built so much space around him, so he can't be shot at in return.
No.
All of these shots are completely safe, so
No.
anything he's able to convert on
No.
will turn into points for him here, as another placement point does take over. Now he's not shooting through that wall. That is
I'm
just
trying
one of
to
the
focus,
graphical
guys.
issues
I'm
with
on
the
the
replay.
stream.
He's picking up tags,
Stop.
but now you can see setting up a
Stop,
crash pad,
please.
going to use it
That
to go on the rotation late. And he picked up a key elimination
But I
on
can't.
the Wise
Like,
it
I'm
there as
watching
we
this.
have our top 35.
Okay,
And it's such a key elimination because he gets Jules' glider gun, and now he's got free rotation everywhere. He could win this game based off
Why
that
does it
elimination.
keep on
It was such
chasing me,
an
bro?
impact elimination, but he's being a little bit too greedy on that zone. He did get tagged up, but he's still good. Rotation coming in. We do see Sapphic going down, and rotation X Squeeze went down as well. So a lot of the big names are out of this game, but Han looking to keep his stream alive and take down one player who landed right on top of him. That was a very, very heads-up elimination onto Pablo, but he's not that healthy. He has those minis in his inventory, about 126 effective HP. He needs to find another one.
He needs to find the outside. He can't be in this cluster.
No,
It's
we
really
can be
weird
friends.
to take the
We
grapple
can
gun
be friends.
and then immediately go into the middle because you don't really have the ability to utilize it. And that's what we're looking for, getting towards the outside of the zone so he has more options there. Anas, teammate up on the high ground there, but this is the solos competition, just playing for the same org. You have Gamers Origin, Deceptos there on the middle as we tick over top 25. Another point going through. Anas running through the high ground. Reason still in the match, and you can see Deceptos picks up Ardit there as top 20 ticks over. Another point going through, and right as I say his name, Reason ends up going down. This is looking like a Become Legends
I
top
think they
15
think
right
I'm
now. They have
Lachlan,
3
bro.
or 4 players
They
still
actually
up, but
think I'm
Deceptos
Lachlan.
trying to find the space,
Oh,
finding a
snap.
good job tarping his way through and making sure that he owns all of the builds on this level as we close in on top 15. Bad Sniper missing out on a key placement point, and Deceptos looking to try and find a pick on this crash pad player, doing a good job to deny the rotation, finds a tag but not able to necessarily convert it. So many shots, but no elimination coming through, and he has to find that. That's such a key pickup. Inside the top 15 we go. Can he chase down this player? And he finally gets it. That snipe going down, but Hen is still up, picking up Orion as we get into our top 10.
Deceptos is going to have to make a play as it's going up a little bit of an incline. You see it. Old builds are there as well. Han is going to fall. Slick going to fall in
What's that
tandem.
to me from?
Top 10
Chris
placement
Watch?
points being missed out by both of them. And that's a huge boost as well. Deceptos able to hold on. There's a player on the other side. Shots are coming through. He's getting the tags, and he does. Frenzy Fishy is going to go down. Deceptos needs to get out of zone, though. He is sitting and ticking. He doesn't have any floppers. He's looking to get in, and he does, but a shot comes through. Floki going to be the one to take him down, and now 2 eliminations here for Floki. The player right on top of him. He's got to be careful. Shots go through. Back into zone goes Floki. Ticking down very, very low. Now inside his zone. He's good to go, but this is looking really, really rough. He doesn't have floppers. Mr. X is going to go down. Stacy going to be the one to do it. He's still trying to be popped there. And look at Anas just tyro whopping all the way up top. He's just walking over old builds. I don't know how many builds he's got left, but he may be able
Yeah,
to
I
win this
told you so.
solely based on the fact that's going over old builds.
I know it.
And the old build's giving him priority. That moving
seen
zone,
it
we
before.
talked about it. It just randomly pulls a distance back away, which
Heavy-
means you can continue
Heavy
your
Marauder,
rotation.
what?
And on top of having the old
What's his
build, the
name?
saving
Heavy
grace has the
Marauder,
mythic
bro.
loadout as well. So this is so big for him as we move into the top 5. 4 players left, but Anas has complete
What
control
players left?
over
Oh,
this
I
lobby.
bet.
You can see Tayson as well in the middle. Scramguard and Snazy are going to round out your top 4. Who will finish it off? Will Anas continue the run of the caddy corner loop, proving it out, or can somebody from the low ground shut him down as Tayson picks up Scramguard? So each elimination,
Okay,
each placement
okay,
here,
no.
an additional point as Tayson
No,
and
no.
Snazy right there. But the shockwave launcher comes out right away and knocks him over to the zone. And Anas does get tagged, but he's able to pop the flop in the zone and then gets the follow-up tag with 6 HP to spare. Become Legends Anas from the high ground. 4 eliminations in the victory royale, taking game number 2.
The flop was what he
Oh, so
needed
it's a
to pop,
second game?
and he did
Wait, no,
do just
this
that.
was
The
the second
victory
game.
royale
I
is
see,
going to be
I see.
nice. I think may be able to move into first place after that game just on the number of points and the eliminations. But
That's a
definitely
lot
need
of
the analysts
builds,
to
bro.
break that one down.
Oh
So we're
my
going to send it right
goodness.
over to them here in a moment.
Thank you guys so much. Great cast here in game number 2 of Europe. Anas finding the victory royale there.
I've never done this.
Mad props to him.
Oh, yeah,
now here's the thing though. Tayson, another big name we're used to seeing. We keep talking about the quality of players. This is someone who is coming in strong.
Wait, I think I know that guy.
That game in 5
he looks familiar. He looks like he's from Impractical Jokers.
That 4-point swing would have actually moved him higher up the leaderboard. And we'll see that as we take a look
Making
at
my
the
way
standings
downtown.
and look at who is currently holding down that number 1 spot.
Usually
Driving
who
on
ends up
my
winning the game is
scoot.
always at first. That is the same story here right now.
Hey,
BL
let's
Anas
go.
all the way up
Where's
to top,
Face
victory
Mongo?
royale, 7 elims, 28
I see
points.
Face.
But
Probably
what
was
happened
even.
in that game was a bunch of eliminations from top players, changing the standings from second all the way to 10.
And there's BL Hen in second there. Somebody definitely to keep an eye on because he placed fourth in the first game. Not necessarily the biggest boost in points this game. Other names too, DeCiptos, who's the king of placing 5th place. The French legend who came out there in the Invitational starting to rise up. But then Tayson, Zeke, you mentioned him. Getting that second place will boost him way up, but he could have done more. Reason still stays around the 9th place mark, but still improves at least in this game.
And there, we move on over Letwick, Scramguard, Bad Sniper, Kinzel, Mongrel, Carrot. I mean, look at all these names. Thomas HD, Floki, Frenzy Fishy. There's so much heat coming off of the grand finals right now. Every single person could walk away the victor, and especially when we're this tight, and we still have 4 games left to go, boys. Anything could still happen. There's all these guys at the top making these power moves right now.
You're saying look at the names. I'm looking at the points too. You're mentioning that it's tight. It's like a 2-point difference between everyone. They are neck and neck. Become Legend Slicks is here. Twains are deets. Like all these guys are playing so well,
at this.
but they're playing well while others are too, and no one can really break away.
Follow me, boys. Follow me.
Benji, who we're used to seeing in the top 10, at 24th, and from what I'm seeing, he's having good games.
Follow me,
still.
boys.
It's not enough though for that number 1 spot.
It's kind of another kind of slow start for Benji, which I think some people are maybe starting to get a little used to. He always rises at the top, but that might be a sign that it's back to, you know, the old Benji of Grand Finals, the one who does get good performances, ends in the top 10, top 15, very solid out of 100 players, but not quite that win that he's looking for.
And together, guys, we got to talk about it. More of these powerful plays coming out of these impact players, making what they need to happen, really manifesting this win right here, right now.
Yeah, Grand Finals is all about power, and it comes in many different forms. We're starting off with how power struggles on early games of spawn fights, and Noah Riley, Mr. Savage, they had a big battle down. Noah showed that he was more powerful.
And it's all because Benji scares Noah into going somewhere else, but into somebody who might end up struggling because of it. Benji, though, saw a sign of weakness, and because of that, he will pounce, try to grab more space. Kiriachi looking in the background, and Benji knows, and he will hunt. This is one of the best players at fighting in the early and mid game, and Benji is not scared whatsoever.
Yeah, power vacuum basically here over at Slurpy Swamp, and Benji gets in the box with style, breaks through, hits a big shot, and shows his power afterwards as well.
And is that show of power, is that show of confidence something that we're used to seeing out of Benji? I say yes, but it might be overconfidence as he pushes a fight against one of the best players in the world. Now we're switching over to Flois, and for him, it's a shift.
Yeah, for him, he was holding power in game number 1, continues to, dropping down Froggy, who was in second place on the leaderboards at the time, but holding power sometimes comes with a cost. He loses it over to Advise, and we see one of our new players who are in that second place slot.
Second place for Hen after a very good game number 1, and follows it up with a pretty decent game number 2. A 10th place for him, but a couple of elims to boot. And that will put him where he needs to be if he wants to grab that crown at the end of the day, the ultimate sign of power. He falls in 11th, but that's at least...
as well. The Shockwave launcher hits charge shotgun too, and he just made Power become his tool in this endgame. He became legend incarnate, literally just personifying the organization he's on and using this entire endgame as a playground, bouncing people up, shooting them down afterwards. Look at that two-piece right there. Anas looks so dynamic, and yes, we saw Flois with the hunting rifle. We saw him with the charge shotgun last time, but for me, it was Anas's gameplay, his creativity that really separated him from the pack and showed us his use of power.
And Anas, that's kind of what we were talking about at Caddy Corner last time. We saw Thomas there for a brief moment, but this time it goes down. Kit spawns down at the gas station, and that's where Anas is lurking. He had a good game last time in 10th place, but if you want to become a legend at the end of the day, if you want to solidify yourselves among the great, immortalize yourself, you need to have games like that. And Anas and Hen, both at the top of the leaderboards, org mates, and they're standing strong.
Both of these guys are definitely looking to break away. I mean, Anas is ahead of the game, 28 points, but Shy, is that going to hold?
Did it hold in game number 1 with...
Thank you so much, Zeke, Shayo, and Bala. Insightful as always, and everyone is looking to become a legend, but right now the Become Legends players occupying first and second. And if you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Sundown, joined here by the fantastic, as always, Playstelling. This is match number 3, the halfway point of the EU FNCS Solos Grand Final. And if you're watching at Party Royale and you just dropped in, hit one of those telephone booths, the changing stations. Make sure you get your favorite outfit on, then head on over to the main stage. Catch the action out. You can see where everyone's dropping right now.
And if you notice, the yacht only has one player on it, so I'm interested to see who that player is. Is it Savage? Is it Noah Riley, who came out on top? And of course, who's going to come out of Caddy Corner on top? That is always a question in all of these players' minds.
Right now you can see cutting over the top of the lake, but switching over to Anas, who's landing over towards the weather station side from Caddy. You can see looking to figure out if he's going to be able to go through, pick up any amount of that loot, drop down into this area, see what's going on. As of right now, it doesn't look like he's actually also a number of players often over just to the south. So right now, first shot coming out, we talked about those early right bags, not quite going to find again. Enough.
It's been 32
Game
minutes.
number 2
I'm
winner,
still gonna watch.
first place.
See, what skin should I be?
Advise there.
Well done picking up advice there. We talked about kind of the different types of crash pads and then the variations you're able to use. Him jumping up prevented him from falling in. So then when Advise went to exit the situation, got picked up, and now over to Slurpy Swamp. We watched this fight happen last time. Benji aggressively pushed Kiriachi, saying, no splitting going on here. This is my side. But Kiriachi now looking to be the predator instead of the prey and closing in on Benji as he's hitting these slurp barrels. So,
hey, Benji Fishy! My boy Benji Fishy.
How do two of the best players in the world close out this box fight? Do they look to take each other on, or are they just going to try and disengage the situation? Right now, Benji's saying, hey, I need more mats if we're going to go toe-to-toe.
He disengaged perfectly, got up, and is out. I also want to point out 35 of the current players also competed in the FNCS Invitational Finals. So they've been here before. They've been in this grand finals. They know what to do, especially these two players on the screen right now. Is Kiriachi is going to take some damage there from Benji, who is keeping that pressure up with that rare tactical shotgun, and now looking to find a creative way inside. Kiriachi actually went up and around the shots going through, exchanging high ground and exchanging shots. As Benji takes a nice tag there on the Kiriachi. He still has yet to take any damage himself. Kiriachi is still pushing. This is exactly what we expect from him. And Benji baiting him to drop down. And Kiriachi was ready. The back and forth going in favor of Benji right now. Kiriachi keeping the pressure up. Benji going to get tagged up a lot there because he couldn't build the floor. He's trying to pickaxe for that code as the edits come through. Benji going through old builds. It is very, very weak and it's easy to hit. But he's put some distance in between him, Kiriachi, and Domenia Snipe.
I was about to say, Domenia Snipe, hearing the action going on, wants to take a peek inside, but he very well knows who's there, and I'm not sure you want to jump on into that pond. Don't want to get boxed like a fish between those two. It's more like getting boxed between two sharks. A rock at a hard place. You pick which one and who's who, because Benji, right now, just again, looks like he's done enough to fend off Kiriachi. Say, how long are we going to do this for? How long are we going to burn mats and just sit here and force each other back? Because both of these players are good enough to hold the other off, or at least make them pay for it if you don't get that initial ambush off of the start, which is why you now see Kiriachi kind of backing up a little bit, making sure he gets some
her hair just purple and blue, that's
back
it.
in towards Benji again, looking to potentially respark this engagement.
I didn't even know that really.
And I'm not surprised from Kiriachi. He is very, very aggressive, but we'll have to see if that turns out in any of their favors as Seventor now being aggressive onto Diablo. Diablo going to get the initial shots there, and now Seventor can disengage if they want to, but on the edge of zone, really hard to disengage because you're trying to run away, then you're just going to get shot in the back, and it's just unfortunate there. So box to box, diagonal to diagonal, Diablo and Seventor looking to do a little peanut butter edit, look to get that jump shot there. Seventor looking to get any sort of wall take back, and he does, but Diablo ready for it. The shot comes through, the quick reset there, going to get the tag in favor of Seventor, but still not as much HP there as Diablo. His shots are still coming through. He does pop a mini. Continued back and forth over these peanut butter edits. That's that triangle edit that you see as he goes in. He goes aggressive with that crash pad. But Diablo was ready for it. Did you see how many edits he had, how many space he had in between him and Seventor? He was predicting that perfectly. But Seventor's ready for the edit. He's ready for Diablo popping up. And he said, you know what? I'll bait the heal out, but I'm going to get that elimination.
Yeah, and a really good job from Seventor there, baiting Diablo into something that he had owned and then committed him to the fight, caught him with the builds out, and then following up with the tactical shotgun. And it's really fruitful to resolve that fight because there was a player boxed up right on the edge of zone who would have been able to rain shots down. And again, if you are just joining that, there's the format on the right-hand side. You can see first round of placement points coming through, top 75, next one at top 50. Then it's every 10 players to fall.
No, I want to beat my codename up again. The thing, you guys, like, I just kind of want to beat him. Why is it that version? Ew.
For the authority here, he was here back when it was the agency, so dominant performance from Carrot. He's also got the zone there as well. You see him already building up and refarming. In Misty Meadows, however, Ardent looking to set up an ambush like we've talked about, hiding in this little upgrade room. He didn't catch anybody waiting to upgrade their loot. He's got a great charge to do it with a legendary at that, and look, somebody is taking the bait. They are coming into the house. The question is, will they open it? He set a trap up perfectly. He set a trap up, but he put a wall, Griff. Put a wall there. The peppers, the shields, everything being popped there. Ardent, though, not going to be able to spring the trap as Griff was ready for it, and Griff turns the tide.
Hey, Griff. Wait.
Sometimes you set the trap in the bait, but turns out you are the bait and you don't
I feel
reel
like
in
it's
what
that one
you
guy
want.
appeared
As we
from
talked
Fortnite
about,
from
he was looking
TikTok.
for a slurp fish
Feel
and
like
instead
it is.
pulled one of the loot sharks there. Griff turning it around after a rough game number 2, getting eliminated pretty much basically off drop. Ardent trying to spring a little bit of an ambush there, but instead going
No, we will
down.
got
So
some
good job on
timing.
Griff, who we saw also had a very, very, very impressive run in order to make the qualifier here, but now on board with E11's Tayson, a player who we saw be super successful in the heats yesterday. The problem is he hasn't necessarily really converted it today. We've consistently seen him towards the top. He was actually 7th coming in, so not doing too bad today, but probably also a little bit outside in terms of the placement that he would be wanting, averaging a top 27 placement and 5 elims total across the 2 games.
And I think that may be due to the amount of loot that he's getting. He isn't steamy with 3 or 2 other players. It's really, really hard to find all that loot. And you see it in his inventory right now. He does have crash pads, but that common AR is not going to net you a lot of elimination. He's going to have to find a way to upgrade that, whether that be through an impact elimination or finding one naturally. As it seems like this is the open side of zone, and that meaning there's not that many people all around him. He's got a little space to work with there. Someone who doesn't have that much space is there's a lot of players nearby. Bad sniper. He does have 15 points, a decent first couple of games, but not where he wants to be. There is a player nearby. He's got to be careful with the sniper. If you don't have it, he's going to turn the beams back onto him, but not going to hit it. He has only 22 above Storm Surge, and that is nowhere near safe. As you see it already ticking down to 19.
Yeah, and that Storm Surge threshold on the right side of your screen there. The number for zone number 3 is 70. So Bad Sniper will be starting to look for tags here, but also doesn't necessarily want to overbuild himself too much. He doesn't have a ton of materials, and he is out in the open.
I bet this thing has been on for longer than the hour.
End up spamming towards him. It can be difficult. He's not in the safe zone yet, and now only 4 above. You talked about how kind of that threshold. Himself above. We have Ovation Arion and Smudge closing in on him, as well as 2 players already in the zone and coming back in. This is going to be key, and he got it. Huge tags, and
that actually looks pretty real though.
Super unfortunate, using the crash pads desperately trying to get in the zone, but even with those tags, only 62 above.
And you can tell he's not happy with it. He's already looking to move into zone and set up for another couple of tags because he's going to need it. The 62 above just turned to 60 above, and then it's going to turn to 52 above.
Hold up.
And you're going to start trickling down that leaderboard as everybody near you looks to get eliminations. But Bad Sniper maybe looking to set up an ambush here onto Keswick. Will be a snipe nearby Skype there, as well as a sniper shot is going to range there.
That's not
actually going to connect onto anybody, but Snipe looking to be aggressive on his tags. Again, is above Storm Surge, but not by much, as we see Lecce take down the premises limit there. Snipe, though, has a very good position in the zone. He can rotate to his right or his northeast there to really make a play on that side of the zone. His shots are going to come through. He heard that sniper shot come through, and that player got tagged up by everybody, and Ovation's Arion is going to fall down.
To a single shot going through there, and we talk about it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and it's sometimes worth just throwing the AR bullets over, both for Storm Surge tags, but you might get a little bit of that RNG on your side and pick up the elimination. Somebody else did most of the work, the hunting rifle shot coming through, but he'll be the benefactor there as Kinzel now is going to put some pressure here onto Flopper Michael. Again, a number of players still under that Storm Surge tag, so you can expect the passive players to push through. Storm Surge will impact the players the least amount of damage to opponents, but Flopper Michael punishing Kinzel there, who was under that pressure, as 4 more players will need to go down before it turns off. Controller 007 picks up Maestro. Gambit's Moaka also goes down, but you can see Flopper Michael also under pressure here. He was the player who had the brilliant crash pad play yesterday. Can he set up another one here and end up converting? As now we're going to swing on over to Anos, get a nice little replay, see what's going on here. Chaining the crash pads, landing directly on top of the player and catching him over on the side. Sven, what are you doing? Cover your back, man. You can't be doing that on the edge of the zone, but Anas pushing himself further out towards the lead. Don't forget, he was in first place with 28 points, now sitting on 30, courtesy of the elimination and the first placement threshold.
Very great play from Anas to realize that he was being ambushed here as well. Quickly got out of the situation. Now Andy looking to be aggressive and looking to push. The shots are still coming through. Anas continues his dominant solo performance. He plays 16 in the solos FNCS Invitational and 9th in DreamHack. And he's recently been turning online, in these last couple of months. It's been really great to see him come into someone who could become a legend, especially after being picked up by that organization. With this disengage, though, it nets him a lot. He's able to refarm some of this metal as well if he wanted to hit that fence there. Refarm a lot of this wood as well. Benji picking up an elimination is good for him. But Anas, while he was in a good spot, now he's getting pinched by these players.
And I believe he also had a pretty solid performance at DreamHack Anaheim, flying out to that land and making it to the grand final there, but now hopping on board. Another player who was there, Bad Sniper, though, under pressure from Atlantis' Lecce. trying to get in the box. Bad Sniper disengaging. Does have plenty of shields and floppers if he can make the space. However, now in the zone, and that's a 2-tick zone that as soon as it passes over and it closes, it's going to go to a 5-tick zone. So Bad Sniper is going to have a lot of the pressure here in terms of having the chug splashes and having the floppers compared to Letchi. Don't know his loadout, but doubt he has as much heals as that, and going to be punished there. Yep, no additional white heals coming out, so the Siphon really beneficial for Bad Sniper there, and he has a relatively clear path to the zone now. You can see on that bottom right-hand corner, only 1 or 2 players who are going to be in his way.
And that's always unfortunate, is getting eliminated in zone as you're just trying to rotate through. As Anas doing the same. He's got white heals, just only in bandages, and he is popping them this time, but he's got to be careful. This elimination will net him so much. It'll give them loot, and if that player has any white heals as well, it'll be so good. As Andy is staying more healthy than Anas. The zone, once it closes, like you said, 5-tick, and now it goes down. Shots are coming through between each other, and Andy's got that flopper. He's going to be able just to outlive Anas here, unless Anas makes a play, but no, Anas going down, and that's number 1 out of the game.
Not being taken out there. The pressure from the storm, the 5-tick zone. Andy eating all the cabbages, knows exactly where they went, directly into his stomach there. Also has the floppers and the bandages as well. So I'm actually going to argue that he should have used the bandages there and allowed the cabbages to tick himself over the top, but instead going to pop that flopper. Going to limit some of his mid-game and later game options there, but opting for safety is now swing on board with reason. Relatively solid performance, was in 9th coming into this game, currently sitting on 18 points, and has a decent loadout for the end game. However, a long rotation he's going to have to make here, Clark.
I'm at rezone.
He has no crash pads and only 1 pepper. He's going to have to get creative with it, whether it be third-partying this site. We did see Scram fall. Rezon just going to hop in, and that's going to be PZH, who is not expecting it. You have to reset those walls. You cannot afford to make those mistakes right now.
What the heck? Why is he keep on freezing like that?
Finals in Europe, the most played in region, arguably the most aggressive and most talented region as well. If you are able to convert on elimination, please do everything possible and make sure you're safe. It's all about covering yourself up afterward and allowing yourself to be in a position to continue on in the game, and Reason is so good at capitalizing on others' mistakes. Now notice, built up on the high ground, use those hard materials to make sure he's established and safe.
I'm looking for phase longer.
Trying to encroach a little bit on this real estate, and that's the fights you're going to see. Reason opting to drop down and just return to his safety as everyone else is going to rotate into the zone. This is zone number 4. So priority positioning is going to be towards the outside. We're going to be keeping an eye on who ends up going towards high ground and then who is slaying out on that low ground.
Easy able to make it here. Another player able to make it into this end game is going to be Savage. And with that off-spawn elimination on the Noah Riley,
hey, that's like the first skin, but it's not fresh.
Noah Riley went down
I wish
early.
it was.
It's got to be Mr. Savage taking him down.
I don't think fresh ever uses that.
That is coming through nice and picked up there by Savage, but someone trying to capitalize on him. That's coming through. He's going to pick up a double heat.
Oh, how do you even get that skin? First off, I forgot.
Coming in, and the crash pad master,
Isn't it
Mr. Savage,
shot,
should be able to pick some up there. And he's ready to fight. He's ready to go aggressive, but someone on top of him going to be Bad Sniper there, trying to box the box. Steady there as well. Savage really needs to make a play to get out of this. Going up into an old build will get him out for now. And what a phenomenal heads-up play. That's what you do when you get elimination. You realize there's more players nearby you, and you take them out as well.
Nick Squeezy picking up an E-limb there. I believe that was on the Helix, but we have our top 50, so Storm Surge turning back off.
That would look really lucky.
Going over, and don't forget, this is game number 3, so we're about to be at the midway point. This is a fantastic opportunity with a knockdown for somebody else to unseat him and become that front runner. And we talk so much about momentum and whether or not you can hang on, whether or not you can get running. And Froggy, a player who thrives.
It's really funny how the Queen Moped just pokes right up.
Using the launch pad, then getting in on the priority. Half in, half out. Now closing in. After this, it will be all moving zones. So it's all about making sure you're safe, finding rotations, figuring out whether or not you're able to get to that next zone, and then trying to punish players around you who aren't doing it as good as you.
Lewick looking to capitalize on someone not paying attention to their wall. You see inside the cone, just sitting there waiting. He could crash that in. We've seen it before. We saw it go against Benji there. Hin is going to fall as well. Hin goes down. What a big elimination there. Another player near the top of the leaderboard going down. Safik falling as well. Wick is dropping down, though. He knows there's players riding below him, but he wants a piece of the action because he's only got 53 builds. He definitely needs to find something. His ammo lacking as well. 5 shots with that charged shotgun is going to go through in an instant in this endgame, so he has to pick up an elimination. He also does not have priority on rotation as it's pulling away from him. Poor crash pads in his inventory will allow him to rotate, but not as effectively as some of these other players, and he set this trap. He's waiting for this player to just make the wrong edit and go out, but I doubt that they're going to fall for it.
Well, he's waiting. He does have priority on the zone. There's a player right next to his box. I wasn't sure if that player was on the cone. He finds the 83 tag and then follows up right away. ADN going down in 41st, misses the placement point, so a huge pick going right there. Mr. Savage still in the lobby as well. We're into the moving circles. That's the late game. You're going to start seeing players burning utility, using all their builds, just trying to get to that next station and avoid fire from their opponents. But you also have to watch out for those sharks and those aggressive players, the playmakers, and the ones who are going to be the ones driving the action. As we're here, the dual media snipe currently below
why
the
does it always make me randomly do an emo? I don't want to randomly
turn off
do an emo.
shortly here. Only 7 players need to fall. Dual media snipe will add into it right now, pushing himself above by taking out Griff. Potentially finding a nice little upgrade there in terms of his. Yep, he will. He will get the legendary shotgun in there as well. And we're closing in on top 30 as Seventor picks up Nate.
And with Snipe's inventory, he had 7 crash pads. This is what you want in this meta. You want to have as many crash pads as you can. As bad Sniper is going to be caught trying to take a shield. Bongo's in this game. Xweeze is in this game. Letwick is in this game as well. We have yet to see Savage go down. Flo is in this game here. Rifla as well. 2 eliminations. 79 builds. We'll see if he's going to be able to get any more.
Deceptos is also still up. We saw him there on the wide. That was the player who was in 3rd. He should be able to push up as the every 5 players will be placing point. Reason gets kicked over by Frenzy Fishy. Orange takes out Cartoon. Seventor gets Sebi, closing in on top 20. That's another point going over. As now Rifla looking to add his name to that list of the Become Legends players pushing their way up the leaderboard. But Deceptos picks up Long Lost and Savage picks up Z Andy. So still a who's who of top players left, but that's everyone in the lobby. As Thomas HC gets another one. Mongrel picks up an Elam and Rifla ends Mr. X's run. Skype also getting Orange. 2 more players will need to drop before we close in on that top 10 as Seventor also gets Mongrel. But the question is, who's on the high ground and is there caddy loot? Miss HD with that mythic shockwave launcher. Can we make it? 3 out of 3. Rifla though. Bottom right hand corner of your screen. Dual media snipe. Top right hand. 5 Elams for snipe. 3 for Rifla. Thomas on the high ground and the wide on your left.
And Thomas using it so well, but Rifla is doing just as well as he's being aggressive there on to players that leave. That's going to be a squeeze in the box as he is going to get the elimination there. Thomas may have the high ground right now, but Rifla is putting on a show. Snipe as well, 5 eliminations. Ludwig gonna get taken down there by Fadil. I'm gonna take down another one as they're going up the mountain. He's reloading that shotgun because he's gonna need it as crash pads going through. 6 eliminations there for him, 4 for Rifle in the bottom right. Thomas still on the high ground. We're going up the mountain. His team needs to get up. So does Skype, very low HP. Skype's out of builds as well. He's more likely gonna take over to the zone as well as Key and Rifle. Very, very healthy. Crash pad up for high ground. Thomas HD gonna take it for now. Dual media side though being aggressive. He's going for it. He does not secure it. Thomas HD in zone. Not as healthy as Dual media snipe now. Rifle with the RPG trying to throw it down. Shots coming on through. Chaos. Kane gonna go down. Sky gonna be the one to do it. So he stayed on through the mountain. The HP was enough, but Snipe with 6 eliminations. Player right on the edge of his box. He's gonna take down Sky. And now Snipe versus Thomas. Versus Rifla. There's RPG's gonna go through. You may have Kid Shockwave Launcher, but I've got a shotgun for you, says Rifla. As he takes him down. 5 eliminations. Rifla versus Dual Media Snipe on the low ground. RPG.
Oh my
god. Launcher as well. He's got too many things to reload. Will it be enough? Will he be able to do it? Dual Media Snipe in a bad spot though. Does he have floppers? Does he have anything to make it work? Does he have any build? Shots go through. As that build's dropping down. Shockwave's not going to be a factor here. RPG going to be used. Rifla concerned on only using that. I think this may be the key to picking up the victory royale. A lot of builds remaining here for this stage of the game. Snipe is running out. RPG going down. That should be the shot, and it is. He gets the tag, drops down, comes through, and shotgun for the victory royale.
And brilliant decision from Rifle, opting to use the actual rocket launcher instead of that mythic shockwave launcher because the zone pulled back over old builds. He needed to destroy them. If you're covered, you're not going to be able to get through. So rather than wasting the rocket ammo, uses the destructive potential, secures the victory royale, and he says to his org mates, it's not about you right now, it's about me. I'll seize this opportunity 3 games down, 3 games left. Zeke, Bala, Shio, please let us know what's going on because this is so tense at the top. This is absurd.
It is
See, like, it's like
absolutely
all the
tense.
projectors like over
I
there,
mean, EU is firing on all cylinders today, and it is an all-out battle at the top. We have to take a look at the standings. Now, we know coming into this game, Anas was holding that number 1 spot. But the question becomes, how many points has he racked up in that last game, and does he still hold that number 1 spot?
I think it's going to be a dead heat at the top. I mean, it's neck and neck for
so many different
people because we've seen this kind of bounce all around. Everybody wants to be involved in this race.
And the Siptos is the one who's all the way in the lead in first place, 32 points, 9 eliminations, and he's playing so well that he doesn't even need a victory royale.
No, he doesn't. Not at all. Flois is up there. He kind of had that first moment, that game 1 win, and Nasu caught back. And then Rifle, it's kind of in order there, but all the players who won the games are literally tied up at 30 points. It's all about elims. There's even a further tie for Anas and Rifle.
Yeah, things are going so fast, even past that. From 6th to 10th, Rezon is still holding on to his spot. Froggy, who was 2nd, is now in 9th. But Thomas HD, Letwick, these legend status names are just doing everything they can. It is not enough to keep up with the top 5.
And Rifle is showing he belongs in that top 10, right? Coming off his first game, an 11th place with his 2 eliminations. Second game, 73rd place, and now the victory out with 6 eliminations. These are the swings we need to see if people want that number 1 spot.
And there are swings happening. There might not all be seen because you can see it. Vidil in 19th place. He just had a very significant game. Look at the elims for him. He's actually tied up
and now
with
they can actually
up at the top of the leaderboards in terms of elims. He just needs to convert on some of these other games to make it really count.
Make people come up here.
Yeah, everyone past the top 10 are still hungry, and if they can't make these end games, just look at the elims for everyone. Carrot, Squeeze, AR Baffle, they're past 5. They're fighting in that mid game, in the early game, doing whatever they can to get points and stay relevant after game 3 in this competition.
Mighty Midas.
Guys, we are off to the races. We are halfway through this sprint, and we can see the finish line there. The question is, who will cross first?
I see.
The blocks are off. The starting blocks are completely off. These guys are off to the races, like you said. And we're kind of trying to see who's going to catch up. When we get to the finish line, we're basically halfway there. And at this point, just trying to extend the lead until we get towards those final games and start dashing towards the win.
You got to pace yourself, though, right? We've seen it in end games. We've seen it on the leaderboards. These guys who are coming up on top to start with are now not being able to hold on to the first place slot. And it's
what's
about
a glider that I have to like get a lot of
Man, there's only
attention.
one active champion.
Yeah? Yeah, I will.
It's kind of a freestyle on some...
See, I think maybe this one will. Maybe this one probably. Just one of these guys. Should be this one. I feel like we should do a big guy. It's still dragon.
There are so many people here in his lane, but for most of them, it's a false start in this end game.
Yeah, he was sticking beside that storm so much, looking for shots from box to box, had the AR to clear out walls. After that, got into boxes himself. If he couldn't get things from range, he was right up in your face and got elims on players like Mr. Savage.
Bro,
moved like past that, though, and still played a phenomenal game, ending somewhere near top 15.
No key and not happening.
But there's no signs of anybody lapping anyone else, except for maybe the Become Legends guys. There's so many of these names starting to push up towards the top. And look at that back-to-back.
The last one I'm going to do is
lobby focus on the same.
Yes, sir. Let's see what you... Oh, 1, 2, 3. Tentacle nuke! Incoming! see what people would think. Okay.
Shot! Wave launcher so good, but in that case, he doesn't opt to use it at all. Just relies on his pure instincts.
Okay, they stop. They're
Dude,
just like
that's all it takes
replay,
sometimes. Sundown likes to say it best. Some days you just have to make sure you can hit your shots better than someone else.
Oh. The skin will give us a lot of attention. And the best Alright, this is the biggest thing that will give us attention. Gilmore's we can't do a pickaxe, but if it was, it would probably be my headphones weren't working for a second. It would probably be like, I don't know, this one. No, back bling. Probably the biggest back bling would be this. I don't know. Hey, this. So gotta do that for the back bling, and then what's the most one? Probably this skin, but like I want like skin that like this big. Probably this skin would be the most. Identify the contrail. It'll probably be like this. Oh no. Gosh, what would it be? Probably this one. Identify the wrap. And I guess that's what we're gonna do. Everyone left. Everyone left this place. Oh, cause it said be right back. I see what you mean. What? Wait, was someone watching my stream or some shit? Like, who's watching my stream or something? I forgot to change my guy. There we go. Wait, it's a Y wing. You see that? I can say Y wing. I might need some new grapplers. So yeah. I don't know what skin will get the most attention. Probably a renegade rare, but honestly, like I'm saying, like a big skin, like where it lights up a lot, and maybe and it's like bigger than Brutus. It's up a lot and stuff like that. Big boy glider. Wait, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36. The heck? Yeah? Good. Yeah, I'm just gonna be AFK right here. Coming.
Hello and welcome back to continued coverage of the FNCS Grand Finals. I'm your host, Zeke. Joining us here on the desk as analysts, we got Shywave and we got Ball at TW. Gentlemen, we are halfway through the leg of this race. And these last 3 games are going to dictate who walks away as an FNCS champion. We're just going to get back into it because we have games on deck, so we're sending it back over to our casters, Sundown and Clay Staling, to get us into the action. Take it away, boys.
Thank you so much, Zeke, Shio, and Bala, and welcome back, everyone. This is game number 4 of the EU FNCS Finals. 3 games have been down, and we're also jumping a little bit into this one so we can stay up to date. Clay, what do you think of the action so far?
It has been
We lost connection. Lost connection. Wait, guys, that might be the end for the video. And yeah, see you guys there. Bye.